Hello, I'm Jalasmi Ngangum and let's have the top stories on ISTV News today. Deputy CM Gaikangam emphatically says ceasefire agreement between Centre and NSC and IM does not extend to Manipur. Now the news in detail. The ceasefire agreement between the Government of India and the NSC and IM does not extend to Manipur. This was categorically stated by Deputy Chief Minister Gaikangam on the floor of the House today. Replying to questions asked by Congress MLA R.K. Anand, the Deputy Chief Minister said that since the ceasefire agreement does not extend to Manipur, there is no question of the ground rules of the ceasefire being enforced in the state. Besides, there is no official camp of the NSC and IM in Manipur. However, Army sometimes maintains that there are noted camps of the Naga rebel group in the state, but the government of Manipur does not recognize such camps. The state government has always been insisting the Ministry of Home Affairs on the issue that there cannot be any kind of camp in Manipur, Deputy CM Gaikangam said. He further informed the House that after the ceasefire agreement has been signed, the NSC and IM has committed about 420 different kinds of crimes in Manipur alone. On the other hand, the state government has arrested about 455 cadres of the NSC and IM. Considering people's welfare, the state government has been taking up various actions. Following the tragic incident of Ukhrul, the government took up appropriate steps to deploy forces there. He said it is not only with the NSC and IM, but also with any other anti-social elements that the government has been facing any kind of illegal or anti-social activities and will face in future too. Gaikangam said the issue raised by MLA R.K. Anand is not for his own gain, but in interest of the people.
The present ceasefire agreement between the Government of India and the NSC and IM extend to the state of Manipur. Hangbiba, Laiti. Extend to this. The ground rules to be followed under the said ceasefire agreement. Extend to the Brina, Modiki ground rule of the Lakti, and Kumjabani. Aduga. Whether there are any designated camps open within the state of Manipur under the said ceasefire agreement, Laiti. Whether there has been any ceasefire violation to the ground rule by the NSC and IM, Mari Lainade, Hajabani. Adubu, Akoi Manipur extend to day, Hibas effect. Adubu Mayam Hainai, Aduga, sometimes Tete, organization, the army Manakra, Haina Bahitare. Noted came Hana lay hentai. Mado equi Manipu government Suya Bangamdi had Centre recognized Taude Yabusunga Moy Hadana. We lodged a serious complaint to the ministry to the central government. Hojik Papa could fight Tori. Aduga Madoi Majiki ceasefire agreement later by the violation Tauba Tobatu of Wedaganda. NSC and IM. Government of India go worry sorry but ceasefire lady but worry your ties had a dialogue lady but Kangushna Manipur the la aga disturb to the Vra habitat Tawi. Mihan Mipungi Tabak Payam series of killings, extortion, kidnappings, etc. Maramaduna, equipment for Sakana, Lokum Topa State, Amam locally.
Replying to a question asked by NCP MLA Lashom Ibomcha on the appointment of State Commissioner for Disability, Minister of Social Welfare A.K. Miraba informed the House that since no candidate who is qualified for the post of Commissioner applied for the post, Ibomcha has been appointed as the Commissioner even though he lacked in RR. Answering a question raised by MLA T.S. Bishwajit, Deputy CM Gaikangam said he would look into the matter of the telephones of police stations that do not work. On another question from MLA T.S. Bishwajit, Chief Minister Ohibobi said the total amount of developing the Laisang Hiden is rupees 6.48 crore. He said development works of Lairenkabi and Puruk Sobi are targeted to be completed in the current year. The month-long training program on Sumang Lila tradition and Moirang Parva that was held at Iboyama Sumang Lila Sanglen has concluded yesterday. About 60 trainees took part in the training program which was jointly organized by Manipur Sumang Lila Council and the Theatre Mirror Manipur. Minister of Commerce and Industries Govindas Konthokzam, Minister of Works Dr. K.H. Ratan Kumar, Project Coordinator P.S. Gunachandra, and Project Director Warepa Naba, Camp Director SS Hemanta, etc. were the main guests at the valedictory function. Certificates and gifts were distributed to those who were faculty members during the camp. Speaking at the function, Minister Govinda said it is necessary to make a concerted effort to save the traditional art forms of Manipur like the Sumang Lila from extinction. He further said that art form of Sumang Lila is the precious wealth of Manipur that can spread the message on social behaviors, discipline and economy and so on. It is necessary that all people ought to take moral responsibility to nurture and promote the various traditional art forms of Manipur, Minister Govinda said. A male dead body has been found on the site of Saitol Kumbi Road under the jurisdiction of Moirang Police Station at about 5:30 a.m. today. The body was found by some farmers while going to the paddy fields in the Saitol Kumbi area. The corpse is dark in complexion, clad in a pair of dark blue jeans, a full shirt of blue color and a pair of white color sports shoes. A rakhi is found tied on the right wrist. Personnel of Moirang Police Station said that identity of the body is yet to be ascertained. The body has been kept at the mortuary of RIMS for necessary autopsy and medico-legal procedures. Meanwhile, Moirang Police have registered a case and initiated an investigation. A Naga man from Manipur was beaten to death allegedly by a group of 5 or 6 men in the heart of Delhi late last night. The police said Saloni, a man in his late 20s who was once employed as a business processing outsourcing company or BPO, got into an altercation with a group of men who had driven up in a white Maruti Alto near a Delhi knit store in Kotla, Mubarakpur. Saloni, the police said, was walking with 2 of his friends, one from Manipur and another from Bihar. When the attack took place, both the friends ran away, the police said, adding they received a call about the quarrel at about 2:30 a.m. When the police reached the spot, they found Saloni had been beaten up. They took the injured man to the trauma center at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences or AIIMS, where he was declared dead. Saloni lived in Delhi's Munirgaon. A case of murder has been registered. The police have seized a CCTV camera from the area and said they have identified a few suspects. In a double blow to the Indian National Congress, Narayan Rane from Maharashtra and Himanta Biswa Sarma from Assam resigned from their respective state cabinets on Monday. The resignations come up in the backdrop of Congress' severe mauling in the recent Lok Sabha elections, where the party won just 44 seats. Both Rane and Sharma have pointed fingers at the state party leaderships and chief ministers for the poor show by Congress. They have blamed the chief ministers of turning a blind eye towards the aggressive campaigning by the Narendra Modi-led Bharatiya Janata Party and the poor track record of the state governments, which according to them resulted in the drubbing. Rane's resignation is a huge setback to the Congress Nationalist Congress Party alliance, as Maharashtra will elect a new assembly in a few months with a charge of BJP Shiv Sena alliance confident of regaining power in the state. Maharashtra Chief Minister Prithviraj Chavan is yet to accept his resignation. Rane had announced his decision to quit the Chavan cabinet, pitching for a change of leadership there. Rane addressed a meeting in Kankavali in the state on July 19th and trained his guns on the chief minister and said that assembly elections results would not be different from the Lok Sabha polls if they were fought under the present leadership. It is believed that Rane decided to quit from the Chavan ministry to protest against the failure of the Congress High Command to remove Chavan in the wake of the humiliating defeat of Congress in the Lok Sabha polls. Assam Health and Education Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma resigned even after Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi extended his support to the beleaguered Assam Chief Minister Tarun Gogoi and asked him to keep the rebel MLAs who want him removed under control. But the defiant Sharma called it quits and later said, "I have given my resignation to Governor and will sign my resignation to Chief Minister as well. We are going to play the role of a constructive opposition. There is no question of defying Sonia Gandhi's decision. I will not come back in the ministry under Gogoi." Sharma is leading a campaign against Gogoi and had been putting pressure on the High Command to ask Gogoi to step down as a Chief Minister after Congress debacle in Assam. It is a shot of footage that can move even stark news journalists to tears. For nearly 3 minutes, 3 young visually challenged children are canned. The assaulter, allegedly the school principal, also visually challenged, delivers blow upon blow. The children can be seen and heard screaming, begging to be spared. In response, the teacher grabs hold of one of them and bangs his head against the floor. Another adult, not clearly visible in the footage, helps him. The video had become public, but who filmed it using a cell phone is not yet clear. The police in Kakinada, over 650 kilometers from Hyderabad in East Godavari, says the man who is seen canning the children, all younger than 10, runs the Greenfield Residential School for visually challenged children. A police case has been registered and the state's Child Rights Commission has said it will separately investigate the horror. Before we wind up the top stories once again, Deputy CM Gaikangam emphatically says ceasefire agreement between Centre and NSC and IM does not extend to Manipur. That's all for today, and thanks for joining us.